retired, um, gosh, 12, 13, 14 years ago. And I was wondering what I was going to do with my time. And I remember when I was a kid, all the old kids sat around the town square whittling. And so I took it up and I joined a woodcarver club and here in Austin, and it was a lot of fun. But
I've,
I kind of go through hobbies.
I've always been a big fan of other people who would carve. I've never been able to do it, any decently myself. But I think
Just a
that,
little patience.
yeah, it's just I could never get proper
I
shapes.
would remove fingers.
It I can see that you are able to carve the heads there. I used to carve puppet heads,
Uh,
but they were totally demade with um, machines, like um, drills and uh, various things with, oh, what's that thing called that ah, but a lot of mechanical stuff that I used to carve them with. I couldn't ever do it by hand. I made a
well,
total mess of it.
Dremel tools,
Dremel,
Dremel,
thank
that's
you.
make
it.
things
That's what I'm
better,
thinking
really,
of.
really helpful. I mean, if you hate to sand, it's fun to rig up your Dremel tool in a way that'll do most of the sanding for you, for example.
Yeah, I've got three different Dremel tools in different sizes. Used to use them all the time. Don't use them much now, but it was a lot of fun.
I use an angle grinder. Um, I use, they make a little disc that has a chainsaw chain on a little disc about this size.
Mm-hmm.
Dangerous as heck. But you, if you like to do things of any size at all, removing all of that wood's a pain in the neck. And so, I use equipment as well as chisels and knives and stuff, and recommend that everybody does really. Um, but in the background, right over my ear there, um,
Yes, I see.
back a couple of years after I first started, I decided that I wanted to try to carve a Mona Lisa.
Oh,
Oh
And,
yeah.
and so I studied all up about a Mona Lisa and tried to do that. And I think it's somebody commented that Deanna looks a lot like
yeah.
Mona Lisa. And I was thinking exactly the same thing when I first saw her. So anyway, I went and cleared up some books and put my attempt at a Mona Lisa behind me to see if anybody would notice
Yes, I noticed right away. That's the first thing I saw.
it. I think she does look like Mona Lisa.
Well, we can't see enough of her. You have to hold her closer to this.
There we go.
But but I definitely see the Mona Lisa there.
Well, I even found something on the internet that showed the speculation of what Mona Lisa in the profile looks like. Um, Again, researching all of that, but much of the fun is the research.
Sing the Mona Lisa song.
Oh yeah. Nat King Cole.
Yeah.
But I can shape things a lot better than I can play a ukulele.
There are a lot of things you can learn if you just put your mind to it.
Well, for ukulele, you have to be able to move your fingers,
Oh, well, yeah.
or a guitar. And for a six-string guitar, you have to be able to move your fingers a long way.
Yeah, that's true. You may have physical limitations that you just cannot overcome, but anyway, there are a lot of learnable skills in life if you just want to bad enough.
Yeah.
Well, if you carve wood, you have to move a lot of fingers too.
That's true.
Try to not carve off the fingers.
Right.
Yeah, that would be a plus.
That's what I would do. Just fingers would be gone.
I don't think I have any scars that would show up. Can you see a little scar about right there?
No.
That's the worst thing I ever did to myself.
Yeah, at least you got all your fingers.
Yeah, I've never cut a finger very bad, but I did cut that.
I've got a few scars that are pretty notable, but I didn't cut any fingers off over my lifetime. I guess it's not over yet, but hopefully I can make it the rest of the way without cutting any fingers off.
The only person I know who cut one of his fingers off was a wood carver. Of course, he had a bandsaw, though. I mean, he did it with
Well, a bandsaw, yes.
Yeah, pretty big instrument.
Every time I use my bandsaw, I'm always, like very,
Well-
very nervous.
Well,
My
I
uncle-
picked up a bandsaw for only $50 because a friend of mine cut his finger off.
Yeah. Well, my uncle was a machinist for Ford for like 50 years, and he was doing something with a saw, and he managed to cut part of his fingers off, and he just kept going because he said, hey, they're done. So he lost these two fingers. Yeah. He was a stout-hearted individual.
I guess so. I would have fainted.
Maybe a little too.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, yeah. I think his wife kind of thought that way. Yeah.
I have two bandsaws.
Ooh.
Oh.
I use them all the time. I
Hold
cut
your hands
metal.
up.
Let's see
So
that.
far, so good.
All 10 are there.
But I do respect them. I mean, every time I go up to them, I speak to them and tell them they're the boss.
As well you should.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk real quick about a physical get together? Is everybody here vaccinated? Anybody here not vaccinated? All right. I guess we can get together whenever we want.
Yeah. Cool.
Do y'all want to do a park thing, or do you want to look at like a Brutorium thing?
I vote for a park,
Yeah, me too.
but I can't do it on a Sunday because that's when I hang out with the grandkids.
Saturday's okay?
Saturdays are usually fine, or after 2:00.
Saturday after 2. All right. Well, all right. I guess we should start working on that. It's a good time to be outdoors in the park.
Yeah.
Or even earlier. I mean, I have a women's group from like 10 to 12:30 on the first and third Saturdays. But, if you can manage to schedule it around, not in that time spot, I could show up earlier than that. And it's going to be hot soon. So we probably want to consider the weather.
Yeah. That spot we were in last time was good. It was in the shade, and I think even on a warm day, it'd be okay if there was a little
was
bit of a
nice,
breeze.
Okay. All
Can we
right.
bring our own beer?
I
Well,
don't know what the rules are for the park.
we could hit a compromise and go to like Oscar Blues. They've got a nice outside area.
Never been to Oscar Blues in
Where's
Austin.
that?
I have no idea where that is.
We met there one time
Oh, I know where I have been there. Yeah.
on one of his quarterly things we did. It's up on Metric, just
Yeah.
off of Metric Drive, between Rutland and Breaker.
What is it called?
Oscar Blues.
Oscar with a
I
K.
think
right?
it was amusing if they had a bunch of ukulele players come in there.
I guess we can call them and ask them, but we played there. We met there as one of those quarterly get-togethers we did.
That'd be
Well,
fun.
didn't we do? I mean, I never went to Oscar Blues, but I went to the ones Kevin organized, and most of them were at Central Market and sometimes the Brutorium. But we had a program. We had a group of songs that we were planning on doing, and it was pretty easy. You know, it was pretty much like our regular, but we did have a program. We didn't just go in there blank or like we do here, where each person brings something in.
Kevin was good at organizing that stuff.
Last time we met in the park, we actually used one of those old programs again. So that's what
Nice.
we did. I thought it worked okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I thought it worked pretty well.
So we
And
could either make a new program or we could just use that same one again. I don't think anybody would remember what we played back in the fall. So
I don't,
I have a
because I wasn't
question.
even there. Yeah, if you do it on a Saturday, for me, it would have to be a Saturday morning, and like Brenda, it would have to be on the second or fourth Saturdays, and sometimes there's another Saturday, if there's a fifth Saturday. That never conflicts with our women's group. But I have a regular 2 o'clock Saturday thing that comes every single week. So that's why I missed the one that y'all had before.
How late does that last? How does your late is your 2 o'clock thing on Saturday?
What was your question?
How late is your? Oh, I'm sorry, I have an echo for some reason.
Yeah.
Anyway, how late does that last on Saturday for you?
How late your group on Saturday?
Oh, it goes from 2 to 4. So, you know, I could do something after it, but I'd need some time to get wherever we were going. You know, I certainly couldn't make it any earlier than 4:30. 5 would probably be better, but the sunlight lasts a long time since it's daylight savings time.
Well, you
Do
said
you usually practice? I mean, do you?
on Saturday morning work?
Saturday morning is.
We have a class on Saturday morning, but we could
Oh.
miss it for this.
Everybody has something at some.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that probably, my opinion would be that whoever organized. I mean, if somebody wants to go to the trouble of coordinating everybody's schedules, that'd probably be something to do by email. But
right,
you know, you have to pick a date and hope that
just pick a date, and the people that can come, and the people that can't,
exactly. You can't sort of accommodate every single person.
Right.
That doesn't necessarily have to be on the weekend either. You know, we could do like Thursday evening at 6 or something.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody want to volunteer to organize? What are everybody laughing about? What's so funny about that question? Well, maybe Lorraine will do it. She did a fine job last time.
Yeah.
Do you send something to practice so that, you know, you said a program. Do you send the music out or?
I think we emailed out a PDF last time. I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's what we did. We had the pages from one of Kevin's old books of music.
I would feel way better about that. You know, be prepared.
Well, now that's going to raise the bar for the rest of us.
Yeah. If it was in a public place where people might listen to us, you know, that it would be nice to be practiced.
I mean, when we did it in the park, I think you sent that book around and we picked some songs out of it. It was just very informal and it was really fun. You know, I don't think anybody got all concerned about it.
I mean, when we were playing at Hancock, I mean, when everybody's playing, nobody knows if you're
exactly
right or not. You know?
If somebody makes a mistake, you can't tell who made it.
Exactly.
Lip sync.
Right. Anyway.
All right. Well, cool. We'll work on that some more. Let's play some music. Walter's has got to go, so I'm going to put him up front.
Well, I don't have to go right away, but I think probably me doing it first is good.
All right. Yeah, let's just do that.
Okay, this song is from it's a British song that was from 1931. It was when it was first played by the BBC Dance Orchestra. It's very cute, you know, in the kind of precious sense of the word, but it's fun. Take a cup and a half of sunbeams, pour them into a deep blue sky. Add a couple of drops of love dreams and make yourself a happiness pie. Make a spoonful of pleasant weather, any June day will qualify. Stir the mixture all up together and make yourself a happiness pie. Remember 4 and 20 blackbirds, well, they were baked into a pie. But let's forget about the blackbirds with the bluebirds so close by. Have a filling of hearts and kisses with the sweetness to satisfy. For you won't know what love and bliss is till you made yourself happiness pie. And kisses with the sweetness to satisfy. You won't know what love and bliss is till you made yourself a happiness pie. Made yourself a happiness pie. Oh, made yourself a happiness pie. That's it.
Great song.
That was a great song. I got to learn an augmented C7.
Yeah, it's funny. It's one of those things you only find in songs from the 30s, I think. I don't think anybody in a modern song uses an augmented C7.
Well, they should. I liked it. I guess that's an F. I don't know what key that is. It's got the B flat.
It's F, yeah.
So the E flat is not a chord in F. So that sounded interesting to me. I was glad to see the E flat into D. It sort of stood out, but it didn't sound wrong. I liked it.
I like it because I thought it sounded like a lot of fun, and it's a bit of a surprise.
Yeah.
Does augmented almost always mean, or does it mean take the fifth and move it up one fret?
As far as I know, that's all it means.
Right. You don't testify about yourself.
Okay, I got it.
Took me a little bit.
And take it up a step.
Thanks
so that means you
tip.
don't testify against your neighbor either, I guess. Is that what the augmented part is?
Yes.
Yeah, you don't want your house burned down.
Mimi, you have a song?
Matter of fact, I do. This is a repeat.
Oh, good.
And I don't know. I hope it's better than the last one, but I don't remember how I played it the last time. So anyway.
I'll go check it later and tell you.
All right.
beautiful.
Very nice.
That's beautiful.
Ongoing thing. I think I've been working on that one for several years.
Sounded great.
Sounded
I,
good. Yeah.
I really like those ending chords. I don't know what that was, but it sounded
As a
great.
matter of fact, one of them was an augmented. This one. And you could call it, I thought of it as A augmented, but I think Guitar Pro thinks it's C sharp. But you can call it whatever you want. It's an augmented chord.
Very nice. Thank you.
Yeah.
Fred, you want to play your song?
No, I don't feel up to it, Paul. Thanks.
Oh. Marty,
Why
you
don't
want to play yours?
something while we're watching?
I'm on my second beer. That's too much for me.
The second beer makes the music so much better.
Yeah.
Marty, you want to play your song then?
Yeah.
All right, cool. These diagrams have too many strings.
I wasn't. I couldn't find a ukulele version, and I was too lazy to, to retype it and all. So this is John the Revelator. It's who did that? One of the old blues greats did it. Tell me who's that writing? John the Revelator. Tell me who's that writing? John the Revelator. Tell me who's that writing? John the Revelator wrote the book of the seven seals. No, God walked down in the cool of the day, called Adam by his name, and he refused to answer, 'cause he's naked and ashamed. Tell me who's that right? John the Revelator. Tell me who's that right? John the Revelator. Tell me who's that right? John the Revelator wrote the book of the seven seals. Now Christ had 12 apostles, 3 led away. Said, watch for me 1 hour while I go yonder and pray. Tell me who's that right? John the Revelator. Tell me who's that right? John the Revelator. Tell me who's that right? John the Revelator wrote the book of the seven seals. Well, Christ rose on Easter morning. Mary Martha came down to see. He said, go tell my disciples to meet me in Galilee. Tell me who's that riding? John the Revelator. Tell me who's that riding? John the Revelator. Tell me who's that riding? John the Revelator wrote the book of the seven seals. Tell me who's that riding? John the Revelator. Tell me who's that riding? John the Revelator. Tell me who's that riding? John the Revelator wrote the book of the seven seals. Now God walked down in the cool of the day, called Adam by his name. He refused to answer, 'cause he's naked and ashamed. tell me who's that riding? John the Revelator, tell me who's that riding? John the Revelator, tell me who's that riding? John the Revelator wrote the book of the seven seas. Tell me who's that riding? John the Revelator, tell me who's that riding? John the Revelator, tell me who's that riding? John the Revelator wrote the book of the seven seas. Who's that riding? John the Revelator. Who's that riding? John the Revelator. Who's that riding? John the Revelator. Who's that riding? John the Revelator.
That was great, Marty.
Good morning.
It's a great
Obviously
song.
didn't follow the chords completely.
Nice.
Some of that was additive.
I was kind of struggling trying to follow the chords there.
Yeah, well, that's a nice set of chords. It just kind of playing them over and over again.
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, I liked it too. I thought that was great.
Marty, what were you doing there for the instrumental?
Oh yeah, that sounded great. Tell us all about it.
Just playing with it. It wasn't a practice thing.
Oh,
Well, it came across great.
Thank you.
Barbara, you want to do yours?
okay. So this is a song that Patsy Cline made famous, and it has almost the same chords that Marty's did. I'm still getting an echo. I don't know if it's my speaker.
If everybody will mute, I think the echo will go away.
Let me see.
There it goes. I think that.
Is there still an echo?
No, I think that took care of it.
Okay, hearing me once is plenty. You don't need to hear me twice, like, you know, repeated immediately. So, okay. So she made this popular in the mid 50s. It wasn't originally written with her in mind, but she's the one who picked it up.
I'm just going to scroll through the chords real quick. Okay, so it's pretty common chords.
It's really pretty much the same chords that Marty was just playing with. I think a C and a C7 added, but it's F, D minor, G, and C and C7.
All right, we're ready.
Okay. I go walking after midnight out in the moonlight, just like we used to do. I'm always walking after midnight, searching for you. Walk for miles along the highway. Well, that's just my way of saying I love you. I'm always walking after midnight, searching for you. I stopped to see a weeping willow crying on his pillow. Maybe he's crying for me. And as the skies turn gloomy, night winds whisper to me, I'm lonesome as I can be. I go out walking after midnight, out in the starlight, just hoping maybe somewhere you're walking after midnight, searching for me. I stopped to see a weeping willow crying on his pillow. Maybe he's crying for me. And as the skies turn gloomy, night winds whisper to me, I'm lonesome as I can be. I go out walking after midnight, out in the starlight, just hoping maybe somewhere you're walking after midnight, searching for me.
One of my all-time favorite songs.
Yeah, that was real nice, Barbara.
Yeah.
It would be wonderful to be able to sing like Patsy Cline.
Yeah.
You know, you hear it in your head and you go, oh, I'm not anywhere close to the way she sounds, but it is a good song.
Yeah, it's a good song. Mary Jane, you want to do yours?
Yeah, put Our Planet up there.
Okay.
Now this song, you might remember it when we start singing it, because I did it almost exactly a year ago, and I did it because Earth Day was coming up. It might have actually been Earth Day last year. So this is my song that seems to be the most Earth Day-ish of anything I've ever done. And I've got another one that I was going to do during the happy hour portion that's environment related, but this one really celebrates the planet itself. So I think I've got a kazoo break, so I'm going to make sure I have it on. Sorry about that. Hadn't got very far yet. We care for our planet because it's our home. It's all the same planet wherever you roam. There's only one planet, the place we reside. We can't get another when this one has died. We need all the species evolved on the earth, those colorful life forms to whom she gave birth. The monkeys and parrots in the high canopies, and the ground level rainforest under the trees. We care for our planet because it's our home. It's all the same planet wherever you go. There's only one planet, the place we reside. We can't get another when this one has died. The ocean's a life force for mollusks and fish. To preserve all the coral reefs is our great wish. To keep the sea quiet and safe for the whales. Keep the fishing well managed, let dolphins prevail. We all want a planet with air pure and clean. And we want a planet with fresh flowing streams. To leave to our children a planet intact. If this be our legacy, now we must act. We care for our planet because it's our home. It's all the same planet wherever you go. There's only one planet, the place we reside. We can't get another when this one has died.
Nice.
I like hearing songs that somebody actually wrote in the group. That's nice. Oops.
You wrote that?
Yes.
Wow, I love it.
Yeah, I wrote a series of environmental songs, and that one seemed like the most appropriate for Earth Day, but the others are, like I could probably do a mini concert of environmental songs if anybody would invite me to a Earth Day event, but of course they've got better musicians to invite to such events.
Well, Mary Jane, I really like that song. It's a great song.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, Fred. Thanks. I hope you'll stay long enough for the one at the happy hour, because that one, you might like that one too.
Well, let's make a point of having you sing that like at the very beginning of the happy hour. That way, if somebody wants to bail but still wants to hear your song, they won't have to stay late.
Yeah, I'm starting to get them typed up into the ukulele format. For a long time I didn't have any of my songs in that format. And I don't really like to type songs very much, but I finally felt like I ought to get on the stick and do it.
But it's nice to have them. Gary and or Paulette, y'all have a couple of songs you want to do one?
Why don't I do mine first?
Okay. Well, we need to change.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to do Ticket to Ride.
All right.
This has been my favorite Beatles song for forever. And I always thought it would be a great blues song. So that's how I'm going to try it.
Excellent.
I think I'm gonna be sad. I think it's today. The guy that's driving me mad is going away. He's got a ticket to ride. He's got a ticket to ride. He's got a ticket to ride, but he don't care. He said that living with me is bringing him down, and he would never be free while I was around. He's got a ticket to ride. He's got a ticket to ride. He's got a ticket to ride, but he don't care. I don't know why he's riding so high. He ought to think twice, he ought to do right by me before he gets to saying goodbye. He ought to think twice, ought to do right by me. I think I'm gonna be sad. I think it's today. The guy that's driving me mad is going away. He's got a ticket to ride. He's got a ticket to ride. He's got a ticket to ride, but he don't care. I don't know why he's riding so high. He ought to think twice, he ought to do right by me before he gets to saying goodbye. You ought to think twice, you ought to do right by don't care. My baby don't care. My baby don't care.
That's great. Perfect.
Nicely done.
Yeah, that was great.
Singing.
So I wasn't watching your fingers because I was thinking so hard about how to play that F major 7. How did you play it?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, it's a good challenge to play it the way it came up in the chord diagram too.
I couldn't reach it. I was thinking I might make a three string chord out of this.
Yeah, on a good day I can do 3 strings, but 4 is beyond my confidence. Okay.
How did it? I didn't see how it came up in the diagram that you had.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
No wonder.
That's weird. That's not what I saw.
I've got pretty long fingers, and I thought, man, this would really take some serious reaching to get this chord to get
I
it.
got little stubby fingers. I never would have gotten that one.
So,
Yeah.
The one that,
a barred C major 7th. So.
The one that was on, was it Oz Because?
Yeah,
Oz
that's
Because?
because it's just 2 fingers on the 5th fret.
Yeah, and the nice thing about, or the interesting thing about the 2 fingers on the 5th fret, if you have a high G, then when you strum from top to bottom on that, it's the same notes you get if you strum bottom to top on this one.
Ah, interesting.
So anyway, this is a good one to know too, but I can't get into it very fast. And to get to it from the E minor, the F major 7 was already over by the time I got to it.
Right.
It's time to go back to E minor again.
To the F.
Those chords, I usually just try to find a way to kind of fake them.
Yeah. Well, 5500 is a great F major 7, so especially on a high G.
That's like that?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's actually doable.
You got to find the 5th fret, but you can do that in a little practice sliding up from the E minor to the 5th fret. Christine, do you want to play a song?
I struck out today.
All right.
Thanks, though.
Dina, you already told me you don't have a song, right? All right. Oh, Brenda's got a song, though. You ready, Brenda?
Yeah, more or less.
More or less. All right. I'll take
Más
it.
o menos. Más o menos. Okay. This is actually a George Gershwin tune. He's the one that wrote it, apparently. Okay, intro. I'm going to skip the intro. Summertime and the living is sleeping. Fish are jumping and the cotton is high. Where your dad is rich and your mama's good looking. Hush, little baby, don't you cry. One of these mornings, you're gonna rise up singing. Then you'll spread your wings, won't you take to the sky. But in that morning, ain't nothing can hide. your mama's good looking. So hush, little baby, don't you cry. One of these mornings, gonna rise up singing. Then you'll spread your wings and you'll take to the sky. Lord, until that morning, it ain't nothing can hold me. Daddy and Mama standing by, with Daddy and Mama standing by. All right.
Good job.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was great.
Nice chords.
Yeah, I do like those chords.
Yeah, that was totally manageable. That's a really great song. Hard to sing well.
I dabble.
El Paso. Oh, that's Gary's song. Gary, you want to play your song?
Sure.
You do.
Whoa.
So this was inspired by Gary Goble's song from last week, which had something to do with down at the border and all that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, what did he play? I can't remember.
Come a little bit closer.
Oh.
Jay and the Americans.
Right.
Jay and the Americans, yeah. So anyway, so made me think of this song, so we thought we'd try this. And it's in 3/4 time, so just out in the West Texas town of El Paso, I fell in love with a Mexican girl. Nighttime would find me in Rose's Cantina. Music would play and Felina would whirl. Blacker than night were the eyes of Felina, wicked and evil while casting a spell. My love was deep for this Mexican maiden. I was in love, but in vain I could tell. One night a wild young cowboy came in, wild as the West Texas wind. Dashing and daring, a drink he was sharing with wicked Felina, the girl that I love. So in anger I challenged his right for the love of this maiden. Down went his hand for the gun that he wore. My challenge was answered in less than a heartbeat. The handsome young stranger lay dead on the floor. Just for a moment I stood there in silence, shocked by the foul deed that I had done. Many thoughts raced through my mind as I stood there. I had but one chance, and that was to run. Out through the back door of Roses I ran, out where the horses are tied. I caught a good one, it looked like it could run. Up on its back and away I did ride, just as fast as I could from the West Texas town of El Paso out to the Badlands of New Mexico. Back in El Paso my life would be worthless. Everything's gone in life, nothing is left.
That's a great song.
That was great.
What a story. Wow.
I'm
A
gonna hear.
happy song.
Oh,
You
yeah.
find a place to breathe in that song.
Hey,
Oh,
Gary,
Right.
Yeah.
when you're doing your D minors and C's, are you doing the first position, regular D minor there?
Yeah.
Further up the neck?
Pardon?
Or were you doing it further up the neck?
No, I was doing it down here
Okay.
instead of up here.
I don't know if you realize it or not, but that's a great song to practice movable chord position. You know,
I thought about that, and
you could do the D minor up.
Folks, I've got to leave.
Okay, bye.
So
Walter.
I will see you. I will see you guys next week.
Take care.
Walter, we'll see you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
I've been trying to work a lot with movable chords, you know, ones that take all the frets. So you got like C, that's C. There's an F there. So it makes it more, what I realize is it's more pattern-like, you know? So I can, like a C to an F is right here. And a D, let's see, F7th is here and G7th is just slide up. It gets real pattern-like. I don't know how to describe that, but it seems to make more sense. You're rocking back and forth
Right.
Usually. Something to think about.
I think it especially sounds good when there's two people together and one person's playing in the first position and the other person's playing the alternatives.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, with down at the first position, there's so many open strings you can't, you know, with all of them covered, you can do that. You know, where you're
Get
modulating
that more
it.
staccato sound or whatever you want to call it. Yeah.
That was real nice, Gary and Paulette.
Thank you.
And your
Real
video for Bob was wonderful for the Austin Ukulele Society.
Yeah, I
And
really
we
liked it.
especially liked the little dig at Dina at the end. That was very funny.
Oh, that was the best part.
That was the best part. She's staying muted.
Now she knows what we're talking about.
And she really does look like the Mona Lisa.
Are we ready yet?
I'm going to do a song and then we'll be ready.
Oh, yeah. Paul needs to do his song.
I'm going to be drinking mine while you're doing your song.
Right. Well, we'll see how this goes. It's kind of like Paulette's in the sense that it's a well-known song, but it's an alternative melody that I heard in a TV show recently.
Oh, cool.
And it's only 3 chords, or at least I'm only playing 3 chords. Maybe the person who was singing it on the TV show was singing more, but it seems like 3's enough. And it's still been a challenge, these 3 chords, and a trip over the lyrics. So see how it goes.
What's the name?
Oh, that's the name. This is Friend of the Devil. It's a Grateful Dead song. I lit out from Reno, I was trailed by 20 hounds. Didn't get to sleep that night till morning came around. Set out running, but I take my time. Friend of the devil is a friend of mine. If I get home before daylight, I just might get some sleep tonight. I just might get some sleep tonight. Ran into the devil and he loaned me 20 bills. Spent the night in Utah in a cave up in the hills. Set out running, but I'll take my time. Friend of the devil is a friend of mine. If I get home before daylight, I just might get some sleep tonight. Ran down to the levee, but the devil caught me there. Took my $20 bill and he vanished in the air. Said I'm running, but I'll take my time. Friend of the devil is a friend of mine. If I get home before daylight, I just might get some sleep tonight. I just might get some sleep tonight. Got 2 reasons why I cry away each lonely night. First one's named Sweet Anne Marie, and she's my heart's delight. Second one is prison, the sheriff's on my trail. If he catches up with me, I'll spend my life in jail. Got a wife in Chino and one in Cherokee. First one says she's got my child, but it don't look like me. Set out running, but I'll take my time. Friend of the devil is a friend of mine. If I get home before daylight, I just might get some sleep tonight. I just might get some sleep tonight.
That was wonderful.
Very nice.
I love that song.
Done well.
Beautiful.
That was Connor Desai, I think, is the woman who covered it. So that's her melody and her arrangement. I thought it was really great.
It's beautiful. And
It's more of a minor tune than what I remember whoever did it first.
Well, I have intentionally not gone back and listened to it because I could not get one version of the melody to stick in my head. But yeah, I think you're right. The original was a major tune, and this is all minorized.
But it sounds good.
That's more melancholy that way. You know?
Yeah.
I was going to say, you said it was 3 chords, but I've never seen anyone make 3 chords so complicated.
All right, I'll grant you that.
I love it when you take a rocky song and you make it bluesy. It's one of my very favorite things to do.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Really nice.
Yeah, that was a great coincidence. We both did that tonight.
Yeah.
Who did that originally, or the most popular version of that one?
That's a Grateful Dead song. All right, now we can take a beer break.
Okay.
All right. So it's legal now for me to drink this.
Yes, I can do it now. Go for it, Marty.
Only if you're 21.
Yeah, I'm well 21. Well, are y'all beginning to get out a little bit now that most everybody's got their shots? You still staying hibernating?
Yeah, I went to Lowe's today. Bought some twine.
All right, what do you got going there?
Tomatoes.
Wow.
I need to get my tomatoes off the ground.
Man, I'll tell you, tomatoes are the one item to me that tastes so much different between store-bought and homegrown.
I think they are really different.
How are your knees, Fred? Is it your knees or your hip?
Hip's doing real well.
Your hip. Okay.
Doing 2 or 3 miles, maybe 4 miles of walking a day. And,
Wow.
where the wound is numb. But, you know, considering it's just a month ago, I feel really good.
Yeah.
Good.
Well, Deanna, are you just joining us?
Well, Dina was there. She's been there.
I've been around.
She's Mona Lisa.
Dina, why
Looks
don't you
like I
tell
need
me
to
how I'm
clean
supposed
my
to pronounce your
camera.
name?
It's Dina.
All right.
Oh, it's
Like-
Dina, not Deanna.
You know, I don't even notice most of the time because so many people, over the years. So yeah, but just Dean with an A on the end, like
Thank
the
you.
man's name Dean and just add an A. Dean.
Dina.
Dean.
Dean and your family?
No.
Well, one of my best friends is named Deanna, and she has 2 N's in her name.
Yeah, the spelling of Dina is a little unusual too, although I've met a few over my lifetime. My parents said they just got the name out of a baby book, so.
Well, I've only ever met 2 or 3 other Paulettes my entire life.
I think it's an outstanding name.
Thank you. Thank you.
Paulette lives 2 doors down from us.
Really? That's
Really?
interesting.
My best friend in
wonder
high
if it's one of the
school
ones
was
I met.
Paulette.
Well, there was one more Paulette in high school in the 60s. And
My best friend was Paulette.
really? That's interesting.
Mhm.
And then the mother of one of the women Gary worked with was named Paulette. And then I was at Chico's trying on clothes, and they signed your name up on the door. And there was another Paulette. And I went in, they took all my clothes away, and there were other people's clothes. And we were both like, and we realized we were both named Paulette. It was very funny.
Was there a Paul in your background?
My father's favorite actress was Paulette Goddard. His mother's favorite actor was Gary Cooper. So one Christmas, he found the movie that they were in together and got it for me for Christmas.
There you go. I had a cousin named Mary Paul, and the Paul came from her dad's name was Paul. So sometimes the girls get their dad's names that way.
Well, my father's middle name was Paul, so I'm sure that had to do
Well, there you go.
too.
See, there's a connection.
His first name was Werner Berwinkel. And if I had been Wernerina, I would have been very upset.
What was his first name again?
Werner, but he was from Germany, so it was Werner.
Parents can be brutal with the children's names.
You have to be careful with
Just
names.
ask I'm a hog.
Yeah, exactly.
Mary Jane, you want to play your song real quick?
You have to play it quick.
Yeah,
Good,
you have to play it
good
quick.
song.
Okay. This song is about a species going extinct. Is the ivory-billed woodpecker back? When we thought that he was gone, like the ghost of Elvis, was he spotted in fact in the light creeping through the new dawn? The ivory-billed woodpecker last was seen in 1944 with a high-pointed crest, chisel beak and black breast, a wingspan of 3 feet or more. The bird's disappearance with logging was linked. He was considered extinct. was he spotted, in fact, in the light creeping through the new dawn. This creature was known as the Lord God bird, most striking among the woodpeckers. Lord God, people swear, with an open mouth stare, both bird watchers and rubberneckers. The sighting report is a miraculous tale. It's called the bird's holy grail. We all pay the cost when a species is lost. It's a sign that our culture has failed. Is the ivory-billed woodpecker back? When we thought that he was gone, like the ghost of Elvis, was he spotted, in fact, in the light creeping through the new dawn. From saliva of the heel of a monster lizard, diabetes medicine is made. On the face of the earth, each creature is worth much more than the price we have paid. The ivory-billed woodpecker sighting is rare. Of its numbers we are not aware. Its importance is huge in the forest refuge. We can hope there is more than one there. Is the ivory-billed woodpecker back? When we thought that he was gone, like the ghost of Elvis, was he spotted, in fact, in the light creeping through the new dawn.
Very nice. I love the line about Elvis.
That was really nice.
That's a great song.
That was a great song, and it seems like I remember this story when they discovered
Yeah,
that.
yeah, it came. The story was in the newspaper, and then you never heard much more about it after that. And I kind of got the impression that maybe the guy didn't really see a woodpecker after all. I mean, maybe he saw some other kind of woodpecker and thought it was an ivory-billed woodpecker. But he had some authorities convinced at one point that he had seen it. And I wrote the song originally thinking, oh boy, it's true, it's true. And then later I kind of changed it around a little bit and make it more like a question, because we don't really think anymore, I don't think, if there haven't been any more sightings. And then, of course, there would have needed to be enough to reproduce too if it wasn't going to go extinct. It could have been one that he did see and it died, and then there was no more.
Right.
if it was the last one.
Do you write your poetry first, or do you start to think of your tune by fooling around on the ukulele, or how do you go about songwriting?
Oh yeah, I've almost always written the words first and then tried to find a tune to go with it.
Yeah, they're really good lyrics.
Mary Jane, what strumming pattern do you normally use?
I have no idea.
Okay.
Let's see, what was it?
It's
down, down, down. It's like down, down, up, up, down, down.
Yeah, I get confused to think about stuff like that.
Okay,
if I start thinking, I can't even play if I have to think about stuff like that.
Okay, well, I'll listen to your songs and try to come up with a strumming pattern and tell you what it is. Because it's very consistent, okay?
Well, I have, at one point, I think I did on some song, I went to the trouble of trying to figure out what I was doing. But then I don't think I always do the same thing for every song. So, now I don't even remember what song it was that I figured it out on. I didn't ever think about it on this one.
I think a lot of your strum in this one was down, down, up, down, down.
That sounds familiar. Seems like it sounds about right.
And it seems like it goes with the words and what you're trying to emphasize with the words.
Well, yeah, that's the words kind of guide me of what
Right.
to do, and that's why it's hard to say that I'm doing some pattern. I might even change it in the middle of the song, possibly.
Yeah. I rarely play the same strum pattern all the way through a song, whether it's intentional or not. It's a different story, I guess. I really like the F that you put in there. I guess this is in G, and you wouldn't normally see a major F chord in a G song.
That's
Yes,
it's
it's
just
a
the
very
chord people
song.
can play.
Yeah, well, it sounds really good where you put it there. I mean, it's very nice chord progression.
Well, thanks. Yeah, I was thinking that yeah, the F makes it unusual to have that in there.
Yeah, but I thought it sounded great. Every time we went through that little sequence, it really seemed to do its job of being interesting and not out of place at the same time, which is unexpected and unavoidable almost. So it was great.
Yes, well, I'm glad you like it. I was thinking of continuing my celebration of Earth Day next week also. I mean, if I have to sing something, I figured I may as well sing another couple of songs about species. I've got one about invasive species and one about endangered species also. This one just happens to be about extinct species.
Well, I just looked over on Wikipedia, and according to Wikipedia, they think a few still exist, but they're just not real positive about it.
Yeah, well, I'd like to think there were some for sure, more than one.
Apparently they've
secretively breeding someplace to launch themselves out on the world someday.
Yeah.
Well, there's also a video you can see the extinct ivory-billed woodpecker chasing a ghost, Texas Parks and Wildlife. So if you just look that up, it's probably on CBS News or something. So.
Yeah, well, anybody who wants to know more can do some research. That's
you bet. You bet. Well, you know,
I've already got the song written, so
yeah, I understand.
I don't know if I feel like doing any more research at this stage.
Well, yeah, it's just you know, when I see something obscure, I have to look it up. It's a character flaw.
Well, your song, I assume part of the intention of your song is to bring awareness.
Well, that's true.
It does that. So you succeeded.
Okay.
You done.
And now you got people looking it up on the internet and learning all kinds of stuff.
I made a note of it. So. Gonna look it up.
I wonder if we remember who wrote the short story.
You might even see one. You never know.
We have to go to Arkansas.
Yeah, apparently if there is any, they might be in Arkansas.
Yeah, I didn't realize Arkansas is supposed to have some really amazing outdoor woodsy areas with a lot of diversity of species.
It's a really pretty place. I have not been there much, but we went there for a vacation, I don't know, 2 or 3 years ago, maybe more now. And yeah, it's nice. It's a great place. We actually went to the town where Walmart's from, or one of the Walmart family. They have a really nice art museum there that would otherwise be out of place in a smallish town.
Interesting. I didn't know that. Yeah, I haven't been in a long time. I think in the hot springs a couple times.
Benton?
Yeah, that's where I was Hot Springs about 3 years ago. went to a spa.
I wouldn't mind going to a spa at this point. An outdoor spa would be lovely.
This was an indoor spa. It was on Bathhouse Row.
Well, you know, I'm just too chicken to be indoors with a bunch of people yet. But outside is fine.
We had to strip down.
Okay.
Oh, tell more. Tell us more.
Well,
Well,
I was about to
you
ask
know-
that question. If the Hancock Center people contact me and say it's available, how many of us would go on Tuesday?
Oh.
I
You
would-
said your kids are driving me home, right? To Dripping Springs. No, I could come. I'll come.
Then we
Take an
need to,
Uber.
at some point, we need to consider, are we gonna meet, when we meet in person, are we gonna meet only in person, or are we gonna work up some kind of camera feed where people that are remote can still dial in? You know, that's something we gotta think about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it depends on, right now, I've been into the soup of a vaccination clinic, so I'm probably want to avoid getting into some other large group situations temporarily, at least to make sure.
You mean
everything's good.
while you're getting your vaccine?
No, I've been helping with a vaccination clinic at the University of Texas, for example, in Gregory Gym, which is, you know, a lot of different people, college age students,
But you got
walking
your
in and out of that building. I'm vaccinated, so I feel pretty safe for myself, but you know, I'm just kind of waiting on the data to see if they think people that are vaccinated could possibly spread it or not. Or
I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but my neighbor just told me yesterday she got it about 5 weeks after she was vaccinated. She couldn't believe it, but she went to her doctor and she said, "How many cases have you seen?" And she said about 2. So it's pretty rare, but it does happen.
Did
Well,
she get very
no vaccine
sick?
is perfect.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Not very sick, but she didn't have to go to the hospital. She was sick for about 2 weeks. I mean, but it's like a flu
Yeah.
vaccine. You can get the
Yeah,
flu.
that
Yeah, you can still get the flu.
they're trying to let everybody know that it's not an absolute thing that means you will never ever get it. It means that you could get it. It's not very common, but if you do get it, you probably won't die from it.
No.
Well, that's good to know.
Yeah.
I'm not ready to die.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's just like the flu. I mean, people get the flu even if they get a flu shot. The case that they get is usually relatively mild. Okay. So I'm still trying to be cautious. I mean, I'm happy to, you know, for the first time since March of 2020, I was actually, you know, in a room close to other people that I don't live with, okay, or don't visit very frequently. And I felt comfortable with it because everybody was vaccinated. But, you know, if it's a larger group, I might have a few more reservations. But, you know, I would really like to do a ukulele group out in the open air, maybe on a Thursday, anytime at all, or maybe even after, you know, whoever's working from home, if it needs to be at 6 o'clock or whatever, that's fine with me. That would be a good first step as far as I'm concerned, that we could still hang out together, but we wouldn't have to be elbow to elbow. But since everybody's vaccinated, it's not nearly as fraught as it was in the past. Okay.
Yeah, I think I'd be pretty comfortable if everybody I was with was also vaccinated.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do we want to consider meeting in person on Tuesday night in a park?
Well, that would work really well, actually.
We're already meeting on Tuesdays. We want to meet in person, but out in the open air.
Yeah, and I highly recommend that chain of thought. Okay, I think since we're already, sort of slotted that in, that it wouldn't be much of a leap.
Maybe we could meet a little earlier, because the sun goes down around 8 or so, 7 seems a little late to get started if we were outdoors.
Well, yeah, and that would work for me too. I'm willing to be as flexible as possible to keep things going.
Well,
there's just
put a stake in the ground, like 3 weeks from tonight, we'll meet at a park, and we'll find a park.
Yep, sure.
6 p.m.
Yeah, it'd work for me.
I can do that.
Us off a dead center there, and
yeah, and you don't have to organize it, Paul.
I wasn't going to organize it. I was going to find somebody else who did, or it wasn't going to happen.
Well, Marty, you mentioned a place where an outdoor beer something another.
Oscar
Oscars, would they mind? If they might think it's fun.
Well, they
might pay us.
They let us do it one time before. I'll go talk to them.
Yeah, and I bet you if we bought some beer, they wouldn't mind at all.
Yeah. I think that would be their expectation, but
yeah. I probably wouldn't buy any beer, but I would certainly be happy to buy food in a non-alcoholic beverage.
I'll drink your beer.
Yeah, it's okay. I mean, it's just a quirk of mine. I don't drink if I'm going to drive within 8 hours.
Yeah.
So that's not a quirk. I
wouldn't call that a quirk. That's
smart.
Sound advice.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, there's a story behind it, and I won't go into it, but it's what I'm comfortable with.
Yeah. And then we can stay 2 ukuleles apart.
Right.
Okay,
Whatever works for you.
I'll see if they'll let us do it in 3 weeks from tonight.
I'm going to say goodbye. I've got to go take another handful of medicine, but thank you.
All right. Enjoy your pills, Paulette.
Enjoy your pills.
I'm going to say bye too. Thank you all.
Enjoy.
All right. See you, Fred.
Mimi, did you say your friend who had a vaccine and got COVID, that she was sick for 2 weeks?
She was quite sick. Yeah. She said it was really pretty miserable, but at one point she was afraid because she was having difficulty breathing, but it went away and she didn't go to the hospital. And she said she was very tired after that, and it took about 2 weeks.
Wow.
Now I don't know if you know the answer to this question, but did she wait more 2 weeks or more after her second shot before she?
Yes, she waited at least 5 weeks.
Okay.
Goodbye, y'all.
Bye-bye.
Night.
Fred.
Hi, Fred.
I mean, I know it's rare, but it does happen. So.
Well, yeah, it is rare. I mean, those poor 6 people that got blood clots.
I mean, the thing is, I think
literally 1 in a million.
Well, there's still the data as it gets more over time. There'll be a lot more data. Right now,
yeah.
Was she with a lot of people?
New strains, and she doesn't know what she had, so that's part of it.
Yeah.
With a lot of people in public, or does she have any idea how she caught it?
She thinks that it was probably because she had to travel, and she didn't think it was the plane, but she got stuck in an airport, and she sat by herself for a few hours with her mask on. But she figures if it happened anywhere, it was likely at the airport.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. you know, I traveled. I didn't. I had a direct flight, and I didn't. The airport was empty when I went there, and the plane was less than half full both ways. Um, you know, but actually, see, I think in a way, well, I don't know. I mean, we all do what we take the risks that we feel comfortable or that we have to take, and everybody has a different measure of what's
Yeah, yeah, and it's we're playing it by ear here.
exactly. This is
We're
all new
because
stuff.
we don't have enough data to really say,
Right.
well, this is dangerous and that's not, and
But
because we just don't have enough data.
What they do know, and the thing is, like, I mean, I'm not saying that what anybody should or shouldn't do, but being in a small room singing is more risky. And
Yes, it is.
you're going to be wearing masks when you sing. And the other question is, you know, we're an open group, so does that mean we're going to say nobody else can come? You know what I'm saying?
Well, what I'm thinking is now I'm not the boss of anybody, but
Right.
my thoughts are
asking some questions.
yeah, the only thing that I would say is if we kept a basic social distance between everybody, then I would feel comfortable going outside.
Oh, outside is a different story, but
yeah,
if you're going to go to Hancock, then is it just going to be, you know, who's going to be there? And you can't, I mean.
And that's a little nervous making for me.
I understand. It is for me too.
Because, you know, I don't want to cast aspersions on anybody, but if they have decided for their own reasons that they don't wish to be vaccinated,
that's right.
That's a problem.
Yeah. Right.
And I'm not going to quiz them on it, okay?
Right. And maybe somebody like me, maybe I'm doing stuff that you wouldn't do. Maybe I'm sitting in an airport for 5 hours, you know.
Well, I mean, we can't go nuts, you know, worried about this, that, and the other. I'm just saying this is my basic thing.
Right.
This is what makes me comfortable. And what makes me comfortable may not make you comfortable and may be different for you.
Exactly.
But that's my bottom line. You know, I would want to start by being in an outdoor place, keeping some social distance until, you know, things have evolved a little bit more and I'm more comfortable thinking that whoever I run into is not going to be carrying contagion.
Well, I'll ask Oscar Blues if they can have us at 6 o'clock on May 11th.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you know, beer is an antiseptic.
There you go.
What is that?
I said beer's an antiseptic.
So it's Dutch.
I wanted to ask if has anybody heard or remember this old group called Traffic? By any chance?
Yeah, I love Traffic.
Okay, yeah. So, yeah, I used to be like just so crazy about their music, and I was thinking about those songs that that Gary and Paulette, you know, sang, like the Lonely Cowboy kind of song, and then Paul was singing, you know, like this narrative about, you know, it just sounded like a cowboy song, and I ran across this one called 40,000 Headmen.
Yeah.
I've never heard that.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that song.
Yeah.
And I wanted to sing it, and then I dropped it because it's kind of complicated, but the words are so fun, you know? I like those kind of fantastical narratives about being out on the prairie and getting in gunfights and stuff. It's cool.
Well, Traffic was Steve Winwood and Eric Clapton and one other person, and I can't remember who that was. Anybody remember?
Oh, good. I don't remember, but I memorized all the songs.
I just remember
especially that one.
John Barleycorn Must Die.
Yeah, well, that was my favorite one, and I Can't Find My Way Home is the other one that I really liked.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, everybody chill out there. My cats are being hissy with each other.
Anyway, when I get the courage up, I'm going to sing that one, 40,000 Headmen, because
I will.
The words are so
wait
fun.
for it patiently.
Okay. I chickened out tonight.
It's okay. It just whenever you're comfortable is good.
Right.
Just good. I mean, and it's really hard to know. As far as I'm concerned, there's a few songs that I would like to play, but I feel that they're a little too complicated, and I'll just make a hash of them. So I just put them to the side. But they're good songs. So, I just have to work on it.
We'll just make Gary and Paulette sing them.
There you go.
I've got a good one for you. Okay, I have to go, but thanks for everything. Really good music, and good night.
See you, Christine.
See you.
Night.
I'm gonna cruise too, guys.
See you, Marty.
Hey, Marty. We'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye, Dina.
Figure out how to leave. Here we go.
I guess.
Okay, I suppose everybody's bailing.
Thanks, Paul.
Yeah. See y'all later. See you next week.
It's been fun. Later on.